In this video, I'm going to break down these things we call isolation experiments to help us better measure the performance of YouTube advertising. More on that right after this. Alright, so you should be watching this video if you either have already started YouTube advertising or you'd like to start, you've got traffic flowing, and you need to measure the ROI. That's what's really important right now. So when I say you've already got traffic flowing, I mean you're using Facebook advertising, you've got organic reach, whatever it is, you have a substantial amount of traffic going to your existing website that it's going to be hard for you to measure the impact of YouTube advertising outside of clicks. That's who needs to be watching this video. So the reason why just setting up and running campaigns is not going to work, this is the big problem for you, is that YouTube advertising is what I call the three-card money of ad networks. Essentially what happens is you're expecting results to be in one place and they're ending up somewhere else. I'll explain why that is here in a second, but the biggest thing is you have to have a game plan to measure the impact of YouTube ads before you start running them. It's really important you have that, and here's why. So here's how we would like YouTube ads to work. We have a viewer watch an ad, they click on the ad, they come to our website. It's easy to track, it's pretty easy to determine ROI. This is very straightforward. This is how everyone would like ad networks to work, to really work. And if you're using Google Search, Google Display Network, Facebook, this is actually a really common thing. This is how it works. But YouTube advertising is different. This is how it actually works. So 20 to 30% of people who watch the video ads actually click on it. The other 70 to 80% typically come in and open up a new tab and search for your business, your product, your name, whatever it is. And the reason for that is it comes down to intent. People on YouTube are here to be educated or to be entertained. That's why they come here. So even if they like your ad, even if they're interested in your offer, they still want to watch the video they came there for. Let's say you have a flat tire. You came onto YouTube to watch a video about how to fix your flat tire. And then you got served an ad about AdSkills. Hey, maybe that's what you do for a living. You're interested in it. You say, I'm interested. I'd like to go check out AdSkills. But guess what? I still need to fix my tire. So you're not going to click on the ad and abandon what you were doing. You're going to say, cool, I'm going to watch my video, but I'm also going to open up a new tab and search for AdSkills to see what this is actually all about. That's how 70, 80% of people, that behavior that takes place when they consume a YouTube ad. So you have to be set up to measure this. This is really important. So how do you actually do it? You need what we call to isolate that YouTube traffic. You have to silo and figure out your cost per visit and therefore your cost per action, whether that be leads, sales, etc. This is what you have to go through and figure out. So here's how we do that. We use something called isolation experiments. We first isolate, make sure we understand the metrics with YouTube advertising, and then we dominate. So to give you an example, SODASTREAM did this back in the day when I was actually working at Google. This is something I saw them do. They had millions of people a day visiting their website, and they wanted to figure out how to utilize YouTube traffic, but they didn't, they couldn't really see an impact on their true SODASTREAM website unless they spent millions of dollars a day, and they didn't feel comfortable doing that. They didn't want to allocate their budget when they weren't sure what the results were going to look like. So they created a fake brand. It's called Heavy Bubbles. It used the mountain from Game of Thrones, and it was basically a dumbbell full of sparkling water. So they created this fake brand, and the goal was to only promote it on YouTube. They would see how much it cost. Let's say they spent $1 million. They want to see how many visits they got. So how much did it take to get someone to the website? And then they had an add to cart button so they could see, hey, how much did it cost to get someone to add to cart? From that, they could infer, okay, here's the general numbers that we saw using this brand. What if we can then roll this back into the main brand to use our YouTube advertising? We can have a general assumption that it's going to cost us $1.50 to get someone to the website and $5 to get them to add to cart. Something like that. Now they can invest confidently and put in a full budget. So that's what we're recommending, the same thing for you. So this is kind of how I go through and set this up whenever I've got clients. Number one, we get a new domain. We duplicate the exact landing page we have and move it over. The entire purpose for that is to ensure that there's no difference in funnels. We have a very clear understanding of this is how much it takes to get someone here, and then once they're on the site, here's the general conversion rate so we can figure out that cost per action. What you're going to do inside of your ads is build your ads to focus on the new name or the URL of the site. That way you're only promoting that URL using YouTube traffic. And then really you're just measuring inside of Google Analytics to figure out if I spent $1,000 and I got 1,000 sessions, that's $1 per session. And let's say you had 200 add to carts. All right, now that's $5 add to cart. Something like that. That's essentially what we're looking for, so you can feel confident and roll that in with your main brand. So here's an example. This is what I would do. Book funnel, Bad Blood. This is one about the Theranos Really interesting story. I actually just watched the documentary on HBO. It was really interesting. But essentially, this is a book. It's a book funnel. So Bad Blood is the name of the actual book. So what I would do if I were helping them out with YouTube advertising, I say, let's just create a duplicate book called Dirty Blood. And then we'll have, Bad Blood book and then Dirty Blood book. Those are the two different things. Well, most of the traffic that's existing is going to be going to Bad Blood book. That's probably running Facebook ads, doing organic, doing PR. It's over here. You want to see the impact of YouTube advertising, so you create Dirty Blood book. You run YouTube traffic to that, and then once you figure out if it's an effective, if you're making the sales you're looking for, the numbers, then you can roll that in with your main brand. So that's what I would recommend for you. Same thing, you've got an example like this. If you've got 6-minute abs, make 7-minute abs, make 5-minute abs, whatever it is that you want to do. Having that kind of differentiated doesn't have to be this whole huge task. Essentially, you're just changing the name and then promoting it using a script. We've got a 10-step sales letter formula that we put together for all of our YouTube ads. I'd highly recommend following that. It's kind of how all the biggest, really effective ads have been built, is using a very similar process. So as you're going through and doing that, then you can figure out the numbers of what's actually happening on the site, both your cost per visit and your cost per action. So hopefully that explains the concept of isolation experiments. If you have any questions, please put them down below or join us in Pro League and I can answer your questions specifically relating to your business. Thanks so much. Hope you have a great day. If you found this tutorial helpful, make sure you click on the subscribe button on the screen right now. Also, if you'd like to join the Daily Edge and get the daily dose of what's working in paid traffic and tracking, you can text Daily Edge to 44222.